Thousands of years ago, vast land in this freezing wilderness, giants with thick fur ruled. These magnificent giants were the woolly mammoths, built to survive the extreme cold. But during this particular year, the harsh winter is becoming completely unbearable. Food is growing extremely scarce across the frozen plains every single day. The rich grasslands that once fed the herd are now buried under deep snow. To survive, the herd must make a difficult decision to leave their homeland. A long and dangerous journey to an unknown land is about to begin. The old matriarch steps forward, leading the entire herd into the vast white. She pauses, lifting her trunk to sniff the freezing air for any signs. With a deep rumble, she begins her slow, heavy march forward. The entire herd follows closely behind her, moving in a single, disciplined line. The young baby mammoth walks tightly beside its mother, trying to keep up. Each giant footprint sinks deeply into the thick, pristine blanket of cold snow. Suddenly, the sky turns dark and menacing as heavy clouds roll in. The freezing wind howls fiercely, signaling an impending, massive blizzard. The relentless snowstorm finally strikes, engulfing the entire herd in white. The woolly mammoths stop their march, facing the brutal force of nature. The strong adult mammoths quickly gather, forming a tight, protective circle. The fragile baby mammoth is gently nudged into the warm center of the circle. Standing as a solid living wall, they brace themselves against the freezing storm.
After several grueling hours, the violent blizzard finally begins to clear. The bright sun emerges, shining over a completely transformed, snow-covered landscape.
But a critical challenge remains for the hungry herd: the desperate search for food. The mammoths use their massive tusks to sweep away the thick layer of snow.
Beneath the ice, they manage to uncover patches of dry, frozen grass.
The baby _mammoth closely watches and tries to copy its mother's digging technique.
This meager meal gives them just enough energy to continue their exhausting journey. As they march on, the herd reaches the edge of a wide, frozen river.
A thick sheet of ice covers the surface, but its strength is highly uncertain.
The wise matriarch steps forward carefully to test the slippery, icy surface.
She gently presses her massive front foot down, checking for any weakness.
A sharp, loud, cracking sound suddenly echoes across the quiet, frozen river.
The entire herd immediately stops, sensing the extreme danger beneath them.
Realizing the ice cannot support them, they must search for another way across. Further downstream, they find a shallower section where the water flows gently.
The massive adults step into the freezing water first, testing the current. The icy, rapid stream rushes violently against their giant, heavily furred legs. The baby _mammoth steps in, but is suddenly swept sideways by the strong current. Sensing danger, the mother _mammoth quickly turns back to save her precious calf.
She wraps her strong, flexible trunk around the baby, pulling it to safety. Reunited and safe, the herd pushes forward to reach the opposite riverbank.
But the freezing winter cold is not the only threat they face. From a nearby rocky ridge, a pack of prehistoric predators watches silently. Their hungry eyes lock onto the small, vulnerable baby mammoth at the rear.
Sensing the imminent danger, the adult mammoths quickly sound a loud alarm call.
They instantly form a tight defensive wall, horns and tusks pointing outward.
Faced with this massive, impenetrable barrier, the predators are forced to retreat.
Many days pass, and the relentless journey begins to take its heavy toll.
The bright sun emerges, shining over a completely transformed, snow-covered landscape. With food still extremely scarce, their physical energy is rapidly fading away.
The exhausted baby mammoth slows down, struggling to take another heavy step.
Its mother pauses, gently nudging her tired calf to keep moving forward.
The wise matriarch stops and looks toward the distant, hazy horizon.
Suddenly, the cold wind carries a strange, promising scent of damp earth.
Following the scent, the herd makes a final push up a steep hill.
The snow is noticeably thinner here, revealing patches of rich, green grass.
A clear, flowing river winds gracefully through the beautiful, fertile valley. For the exhausted, starving herd, this incredible place means absolute survival. The baby mammoth happily runs toward its mother, sensing the new safety. The adults eagerly begin to graze on the fresh, abundant green grass.
For the first time in weeks, they do not have to march.
The warm, golden light of sunset bathes the peaceful new valley.
Their epic journey has tested them against the most brutal winter storms. They have crossed dangerous, icy rivers and stood firm against fierce predators. Through sheer determination, they have found a sanctuary to call home. The baby mammoth plays joyfully near its mother, safe from all dangers. The wise matriarch stands on a high hill, watching over her herd. In a world of constant change, survival belongs to those who adapt. This is not just the end of their long, difficult journey.
It is the beautiful, hopeful beginning of a brand new life.
Thousands of years ago, ice and snow covered the earth, dominated by giants. These were the woolly mammoths, magnificent rulers of the frozen northern steppes. But this year, an exceptionally harsh winter has made survival a daily struggle. Food has become scarce, buried deep beneath the thick, impenetrable layer of ice. To survive, the entire herd must abandon their familiar territory and migrate. A long, perilous journey toward an unknown land has finally begun. The elderly matriarch leads the way, her ancient memory guiding their footsteps.
She alone knows where to find water, food, and sheltered grasslands.
There are no paths here, only instinct and the vast, empty wilderness. Every massive step sinks deep into the snow as the calves follow closely. But nature quickly tests their resolve with unexpected, dangerous obstacles. A frozen river blocks their path, its icy surface creaking under pressure. The matriarch cautiously tests the ice, sensing the hidden danger beneath. Behind them, patient predators watch and wait for any sign of weakness. With no other choice, she bravely leads the herd onto the cracking surface. The migration continues, but the path ahead is filled with extreme peril. The frozen river could be a bridge or a deadly icy trap. A single misstep, and the vulnerable calf could plunge into the deep freeze. But the protective herd will never abandon their youngest and weakest members. Suddenly, a sharp crack echoes as the fragile ice begins to rupture. The calf slips and falls into the freezing water, crying out in panic. Mother immediately turns back, desperate to rescue her struggling baby. The adult mammoths form a barrier, securing the area from further collapse. Beneath the ice, the freezing water threatens to pull the calf under. Using all her strength, mother lifts her baby back onto solid ice. Other adults lean in, stabilizing the heavy ice with their massive bodies. The wet calf is finally safe, shivering but standing once more. Mother gently comforts her child, ensuring its safety. They quickly abandon the dangerous ice, choosing a safer, rocky path upstream. The disappointed wolves watch from afar, unable to break their defense. But another challenge approaches as a powerful blizzard sweeps the valley. But nature quickly tests their resolve with unexpected, dangerous obstacles. The herd slowly vanishes into the white wilderness, pushing forward blindly. The small calf struggles to walk as deep snowdrifts block its path. Mother stays close, shielding her baby from the freezing, biting winds. Through the blinding snow, the persistent predators are still tracking them. The pack searches for any sign of weakness in the storm. The mammoths find temporary shelter inside a dense, quiet conifer forest. But distant, chilling howls echo through the snow-laden trees. Suddenly, the herd stops as a deep, menacing growl vibrates the air. A massive, saber-toothed cat steps out, its long, curved fangs glistening. The fierce predator locks its eyes onto the vulnerable young calf. But the young calf is never truly alone in this hostile world. The defensive wall of giant tusks and heavy bodies quickly forms. Faced with their combined immense strength, the dangerous predator is forced back. The saber-toothed cat retreats into the shadows of the silent forest. Emerging from the forest, the herd steps onto a windswept, frozen plain. The calf gains new energy, happily trotting beside its proud mother. The mammoths march onward, their long, shaggy fur blowing in the wind.
The curious calf discovers a small patch of exposed dry grass.
Mother uses her powerful tusks to sweep away the thick snow.
Every mouthful of dry grass gives them strength to continue migrating.
The matriarch looks toward the distant mountains, sensing a storm brewing. Mother stays close, shielding her baby from the freezing, biting winds.
They must cross the high mountain pass before the blizzard arrives.
Step by painful step, they ascend the steep, rocky mountain slope.
Suddenly, the small calf slips on an icy patch, sliding backward. Mother quickly blocks the slide with her massive, sturdy front leg.
Reaching the summit, they finally look down at a beautiful valley. A lush, green sanctuary lies below, untouched by the harsh winter. The fierce predator locks its eyes onto the vulnerable young calf. The excited herd begins their slow descent toward this new paradise. The snow thins out as the air turns warm and welcoming.
At last, they drink from a fresh, unfrozen, flowing river.
The mammoths spread across the vast green pasture, safe at last. The joyful calf tastes fresh, delicious green grass for first time. The struggle against winter, predators, and hunger is finally over. A new season of survival and growth begins for the herd. On a changing planet, life must adapt to survive and thrive. This was not just the end of their difficult, epic journey. It is the start of a brand new life for them. The ancient giants march on, surviving into the dawn of tomorrow. Thousands of